Do you get the best price at an RV show? This is the RV Life Product. I am Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt. And today we are at the Jacksonville Mega Show. And today's guest, guess what? He has a unique insight on RV shows, and we're going to get his opinion today.
Dan and I have been full-time RVing for almost 2 years. Now, we bought a used RV when we started out, honestly, because I wasn't sure I was going to like this whole RV thing. And 2 years in, and I am loving it. And we are looking for our next new RV.
We really are kind of in the market for that next RV. I want to just a big shout out to General RV for allowing us and hosting us here in their space at the Jacksonville Mega RV Show. This place is just really, really nice. There's a lot of great RVs here. There are some manufacturers here. As a matter of fact, we are right now in front of an impression, right, by Forest River. Dave Shannon is the manufacturer's rep. He is here. He's standing right out next to us watching this thing. And we're actually kind of blocking the entrance to his unit, but they gave us this space, and it is absolutely incredible. We're having a great time.
That horn means it's time for today's fun fact. How many RVs are projected to be sold in 2023?
Well, I got to tell you, that is a big number. And our guest today, he's sold a heck of a lot of it. He's made a dent in that number of the entire year. But according to RVI, it's going to be somewhere between 409 and 429,000 units will be sold in 2023. With Florida, where we are right now at the Jacksonville Mega Show, they come in number 3 in the nation, and they're just a little bit behind California and Texas. But I'll tell you what, more shows like this, more people come out to shows like this, and maybe Florida can take over that number 1 spot.
Our guest today is certainly doing his best to get Florida in the number 1 sales spot. That's for sure.
That's absolutely right. So you know what? Instead of just doing some chit chat while we're here at the Jacksonville Mega RV Show, let's just get right into it. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our guest right after this.
Why end your camping season when it gets cold? With the inflatable RV skirting system from Air Skirts, you could extend your camping season year-round. Reach out to Jim and his team by visiting airskirts.com for more information. RV Life Podcast listeners get $100 off a kit order when you use code RVPOD. That is RVPOD for $100 off.
This RV Life podcast is sponsored in part by Clear 2O. Clear 2O continues to bring its expanding line of water filtration products to RVers with innovations such as their DirtGuard sediment pre-filter, their 1-micron solid carbon block inline water filter, and a wide variety of high-quality filters for your RV's whole house filter system. When it comes to clean water for your RV life, the answer is clear. Clear 2O. Visit clear20.com and use the coupon code RVLifePodcast to save an additional 5% on every purchase.
He's been an RVer for over 40 years. He's sold over $500 million. That's $500 million in RVs since he's been in this business. He restored his 2011 Holiday Rambler, and I got to tell you, he was camped next to us when we were back in Tampa. It is absolutely immaculate. He's also the president of the Florida RV Trade Association Region 6.
He is Gregg Stachacz, and we're so happy to have him here. Welcome to the RV Life Podcast.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to spend time with you. I enjoyed our Tampa experience when we were parked next to each other, and now here we're in Jacksonville. You know, we love hosting RV trade shows like this. It is a great opportunity for the consumer. It's a great opportunity for the dealers. One of the things that's important for the consumer is that you're going to come to show here or any of the RVTA trade shows across Florida, and you're going to see every available unit there is that's manufactured on the market. You don't have to go dealer to dealer to dealer. You don't have to do any of that traveling. You're going to come here and you're going to enjoy yourself. 2 days here is what you would really like to do. You really want to come in the first day, bring your notepad, take a look at things, understand what you want. Then the next day you scratch off what you don't like and you come back and you revisit, and hopefully you purchase a unit here at the show.
Okay, Greg, we did a lot right there. We're going to maybe back up a little bit and take a break and talk about all the things you said, because you just put a bunch of information out there to the listeners. So, Patty, what's your first question on this?
First, we want to talk a little bit about the Florida RV Trade Association. We've heard a lot about it, and this show is part of that. Tell us a little bit about the Florida RVTA.
The Florida RVTA is a nonprofit organization that hosts and runs RV shows, trade shows throughout the Florida area. We as an organization and as a region use the profits from this show to go ahead and donate to our charities or of any nature that would benefit the RV industry. We normally would have 4, 5, 6 to 10 different organizations come to our meetings and talk to us about their organizations, from the police to the fire to you name it, whatever category they are in, and they're looking for help, and we are glad to give them the help.
So I just have to reiterate here, and I was a teacher for 20 years in a at-risk, I worked with at-risk youth. So certainly give back in community is such a big part. So you're saying that when people come through the door, they pay their money to get into these shows, they get to experience all that the show has to offer. And a lot of that money is then given back to the local charities. I just think that's amazing. I had to stop and just reiterate that to let people know.
Yeah, that's the truth. I just ran into somebody today, and I coached a fast pitch girls softball team for 10 years, and I enjoyed doing that. And this family, one of the girls there with them was a fast pitch softball player. And yes, they're looking for a sponsor, and I invited them. What better exposure can the RV industry have than a group of parents that are traveling all over Florida and understanding that the FRVTA is sponsoring this organization? You've got 12, 13, 14, 15 girls on a team that all they do is go to school, do their homework, and go practice. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to get our name out there, and that's the best way to do it.
The FRVTA, their primary business is putting shows on in Florida.
Correct.
And there's several regions around. So that's the primary reason. Now, you and I were talking yesterday, and we were also talking to, part of your sales team and some of the sales managers here at General RV. And, the title of this show is, do I get the best price on an RV at a show? So let's talk about coming to a show and why it's so important to come to a show to do your research and maybe even buy your RV.
You're going to be able to do all the research you really want in one place. It's a one-stop shop area, kind of like designed like the old general stores where you've got 20 stores underneath one roof. You've got 15 dealers and you got 67 people back there selling their goods. So you come here and you notice that, oh, man, the prices are a little bit lower here than I realized they were. Yes, they are. These dealers here, they are here to sell their product. They're not here to take it back home. They want to sell their product. You are going to get great deals here.
Okay, so I have to say, now, again, Dan and I have only ever bought our used RV. We bought it from someone. Coming to the show, I could see every different kind of RV. I know that. Dan and I have been to several shows. But what I'm hearing you say is the deals here at the show are going to be the best way to get the best price on our next RV.
Yes, that is correct. When you come to this show, you will realize, as a lot of the public does when they come in here, that they look at the coach and they go like, oh my God, this is a wonderful price. This price is amazing. We didn't expect to have to we expected to spend more money. So when you come to the show, we want you to take a close look at the one you really like and then talk to the salesperson that's available for you and sit down and have a nice conversation with him. Talk about the RV. He'll give you some highlights about the RV. And then you're going to get into the logistics of what that coach is going to cost you. The coaches at this show and all trade shows sponsored by the RVTA are the lowest you're going to find anywhere.
You know, we talked yesterday, and Dave is standing right out in front of us over here, and he's from Forest River. Let's talk about that. Sometimes at shows, manufacturers put extra perks for the salespeople. They put extra perks for the customer. They put extra perks for the industry in general out there. Can we talk about how the manufacturers really help out shows?
The manufacturers are the main support group for the entire show. They want to put their wares out there. They want to put the latest and the greatest out there. I will give you an example. There's a brand new fifth wheel on the market now called the Brinkley. It is a combination of a few design engineers from a couple of different fifth wheel manufacturers that got together. They have a beautiful, beautiful product to come out now. And it is priced incredibly at this show. I will tell you just off cuff, in Tampa, they sold 25. Here, they're going to sell that many, if not more, of the Brinkley. And this is where the people start looking. When you go into different RVs, you're going to look from the lower end all the way up to high end to pricing values. But the key to it is find your RV. You'll find it here. This is the best place to do your shopping.
I guess the next question I'm thinking is, how long would I have to wait to get those RVs?
Normally, you can take delivery on a unit that's here the week after the show. Maybe even a week and a half after, depending on where we are as far as any general or anybody else as far as getting them lined up and getting them delivered. We need at least a couple of days to go ahead and take it back, go over it totally, make sure it's right for you. When we deliver it to you, when you come to the showroom, we expect that you would spend 3 hours with us that day to go over and understand your entire coach. We put a lot of effort into making sure that coach is perfect when you come to pick it up. So unlike a car dealership where you can in by 9, out by 5, you can't do that with an RV. You're going to have to mull it over for a few days before you get in there and pick it up.
That sounds great. Okay. So my next question is, can I bring my 2002 Monaco into an RV show and trade it in? How does that work?
You can trade in any RV you want. The dealers here and throughout all the shows, we simply sit down with the customer and we have a conversation about their unit. We're going to grade and we're going to put a price tag on your trade on what you tell us. So when we sit down and we talk to you, we don't need to see the RV today. We're going to see it when you bring it in to trade it in, and we're going to inspect it. The good side of that is we're going to give you top dollar for your trade. If, in fact, something is wrong with your trade that we discuss and it's not there, then we sit down at the dealership and have another discussion.
You know, Greg, we talked yesterday. Before we go to break, let's just kind of talk about this a little bit more. You kind of feel the best way to come to a show and to experience a show is to do it over 2 days. So let's talk about why you think that people should plan on coming to an RV show over 2 days as opposed to coming in and hitting and running and going ahead.
There's so many different models of everything out there that you really can't comprehend the whole thing unless back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, before we had the computers, all your research was done here. Now people do a lot of it at home over a cup of coffee, but they still come here and they don't realize how many are available in the floor plan that they might like and price ranges. So you should bring your notebook. You should go in and out of every one that you simply like and then start writing down what you like and what you don't like. And then eliminate the ones that you don't like the floor plan. That's why they make so many floor plans. And then go ahead and zero in on the 1 or 2 or 3 the next day where you've really got a clear head and an understanding of exactly what you want. There's an old favorite phrase in this industry that's been around a long time: buy your second one first.
Right. Absolutely. And we're certainly learning from what we bought. The only thing I would add there is for pictures, to take pictures. People get back. I know for Dan and I, we've looked at so many units. We go back to discuss them and we can't remember which was which. So you have your phone, take some pictures as you go through those units.
Right. And then most people, when they're on there with their phones, they will take a picture of the price on the outside, the model number, the name of it, and the design of the inside of it. That gives them a better idea when they get home or when they go back and come back the next day. They're looking, which one did we want to see here, so they know which one they want to see.
Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more to talk about buying an RV at an RV show. And we will be back with the RV Life podcast right after this.
When traveling in your RV, how do you navigate? Do you use a paper map, a GPS, or do you use Google Maps? Our sponsor, RV Trip Wizard, has the solution, and it just works.
It just works. And boy, oh boy, does the RV Trip Wizard, RV Life Pro, it really does work. We, Patty and I, that is, do not move our RV 1 inch without first putting it in RV Trip Wizard. So thank you so much for being the sponsor. We're here with Gregg, and Gregg, it is just so great to talk to you. And what a beautiful day. The last couple of days, we thought it was going to rain, but, there's clouds out there. It's just enough to keep the sun from baking you all day long, and it's just beautiful out here. What are some of the first things that people should think about or look at when they do come to an RV show?
Well, they have to look at what the accommodations are for their particular family. How many people are going to travel with them? How many people are going to be sleeping in the RV? The positioning of everything inside the RV. The exterior. Some people want an outdoor kitchen. Some people don't. Some people want an outdoor TV. Some people don't. But I will tell you that the salespeople that we have here at this show are very, very, very good at talking to the people and getting all that information out. We have an information sheet that we sit down. We love to sit down with customers and talk to them about what they want to do. Where are they going to go? Are they going to travel coast to coast? Are they going to travel locally? How many do they need to sleep? Who's going to drive it? And who, if you're afraid to drive a big one or a little one or whatever, the salespeople here, I can speak for them at General RV, they're trained to be able to pick 2 or 3 units that they feel you're going to go ahead and want to look at really close. And then we start that process. But we've got a great idea. We also want to know what your budget is. We want to know what kind of payment you're looking to get, how much money you're going to put down. The last thing we want to do is we don't want to show somebody a coach that they fall in love with and they can't afford. So we try to eliminate all that, and we try to slide them right into a coach that they're going to enjoy.
Now, as we travel around the country, and we have been to several RV shows where we speak and do different things at or do our podcast at, the number one thing, the feedback that we hear is people don't want to talk to salespeople. They feel like the salespeople are the big, bad, evil boogeyman or whatever. One of the things that I've noticed, and actually as we're sitting here in the middle of the General RV display, is that thought that most people have of the aggressive salesperson, that they're going to jump on you as soon as you get there. I don't know that that's the feel at this or any other show that we've been at. Can you talk a little bit about the thought process behind General RV and the salespeople here?
Sure. It's called make a friend first. You always want to make a friend. You always want to make them feel comfortable. You want to let them know that we're going to give you all the information you need, and we're going to fill your head with everything. We're also going to talk about the RV lifestyle. We're going to talk about what you do with an RV. We're going to talk about the fun you can have. I know I can tell you from my experience just quickly, when my kids were younger and we went camping and we went all over camping, my oldest son is 52 years old, and yet he still has a reunion every year someplace with all the kids that they met at the campgrounds that they met at. These are great lifestyle things. That's what we want to talk about. We want to get the people comfortable enough that they say, hey, maybe we want to take the kids camping, or maybe we want to go out and let them run around, let them be free a little bit. Campgrounds are the safest places you can go. Everybody's watching out for everybody else.
So there's more to the way I see it, and as we've walked around, as Dan said, many different RV shows, there's not that sales pressure. Nobody's jumping on you, but they have such a wealth of information that even Dan and I, being 2 years on the road, having the RV, I know pretty much, I think I know exactly what I want, but the salespeople here can offer things that I have said over and over again. Wow, I didn't think about that. So such a wealth of information. I think that's very helpful. Find a salesperson that you can sit and talk to is the advice I'm going to give.
You make a friend, right? Make a friend. Now, the other thing that I noticed is as I'm sitting here right now in my field of view, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 red shirts. That means there's a lot of salespeople around here. Where do all these salespeople come from?
General RV has 14 stores from Michigan all the way down through Florida. We pull from every store. There is a group that does a lot of shows, but we feel that the more salespeople we can accommodate, we don't want to get the overrun with people without having somebody talk to them. So the management team at General RV does a great job of putting together the sales team that's going to come here and all the shows that's going to talk to everybody we possibly can. And so consequently, we get the sale, or consequently we made a friend, or whatever the case may be. But that's our goal, is to talk to every person that walks down every one of these aisles.
You know, and as you say that, I'm going to say one more thing. It's not just the salespeople, because you have a support staff here, and the guy that helped us get set up, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but he's right over there. And you know, they're just great. They take a look around, they see what's going on. They saw I watched him. He saw a problem with a piece of carpet coming up across the way, and he went over and fixed it right away. There's more to it than just bringing in a bunch of campers and a bunch of salespeople.
Last Sunday, this was an empty field. Nothing was here. By Monday, we were placing units. By Tuesday, we had the crew out here laying all the carpet and getting it out. Our support staff was doing all the signs and getting all the signs put up. This is a huge project. So on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, when we open this show, we want to be ready to go. The salespeople show up, and we all have a big meeting, and we go over what we want to talk about. The managers fill us up with a lot of things that we need to know. So from the support staff to the management team, to the salespeople, to the people that are walking around here, constantly making sure. Listen, we've got people with brooms and shovels and just cleaning up the insides of these all day long to make them presentable so they don't look dirty. It's a great effort. It's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a good part to be. It's a fun part to be of. It is.
And Dan and I had the opportunity to actually see a setup of an RV show. It's incredible. So if people haven't seen it, it is something to see. Now, one of the things, I guess, when I come to an RV show, so General RV is here. I know Campers Inn is another, if I'm saying it right, Camper Inn is another dealership. Before we come to an RV show, do you suggest people looking at the dealers? How do I start before I ever come to the show?
Well, first of all, if you go on the FRVTA website, probably 2 weeks before the show, everything will be up there live. All the vendors are going to be up there. All the participants, all the RV dealers are going to be up there on there. If you happen to, during the year, visit one of the RV dealers and you say, oh, General is going to be there, or Campers Inn is going to be there, and then you see what they're going to be representing, what manufacturers they're going to have with them, and all of a sudden you say, well, wait a minute, hey, that Wildwood Heritage is the one we looked at. We're going to go and we're going to take a look at it there. So that's what they come for, because there's a good possibility that they've visited a dealership during the year, or even a better reason, they're on these computers looking at everything before they even come here.
Okay, Greg, let's talk a little bit about the two different kinds of shows that there are. You and I both came from, I think it's called the Florida Super Show. It was in Tampa, Florida. Again, sponsored by the Florida RV Trade Association. Now, that's a different region down there.
Correct.
But it is sponsored by them. And now we're up here at the Jacksonville Mega Show. but this is not the same kind of show as the Tampa show. So talk to us about the difference between this show and where we were in Tampa last week.
Okay, you can talk about Tampa and Hershey, Pennsylvania. Those are the two big shows that are in across the whole United States. Those are called manufacturer shows. If you go to the Tampa show or the Hershey show, you're going to see big signs that say Thor Manufacturing, Holiday Rambler, Tiffin, and then you're going to see all their product inside that area there.
Don't forget Forest River.
Forest River, too. Right, Forest River. You're going to see everything that they manufacture. When you come to what they call the smaller regional shows like this one, you're going to see what the RV dealer offers you, not what the manufacturer offers you. Although you'll probably see everything here that you saw in Tampa, you're going to see a different venue to how to find them.
And I just want to remind our listeners, you talked about the Hershey RV show. Patty and I will be speaking at the Hershey RV show. We are one of the featured speakers at the Hershey RV show. So if you're going to come to an RV show next year, later on this year, when is that show?
In September. I don't know the dates.
We don't know the exact dates, but it's in September this year. Patty and I will be there. We will be broadcasting the RV Life podcast live from there, and we will be giving some seminars while we are there as well. The same thing with Tampa. We'll be giving seminars next year at Tampa, and we will be doing the RV Life podcast. So to answer the question in just simple words is Hershey and Tampa are the two biggest shows in the country.
That's correct.
And Courtside likes to say they are, but they are not a manufacturer show. But those are manufacturer shows. Those are sponsored by the manufacturers, and the RVs are set up by manufacturer.
That's correct.
Now here we're in Jacksonville, and I'm just trying to break it down to make it a little more elementary for people that don't quite understand. Here, and if you could tell me again, can you tell me the other dealers besides General RV that are at this Jacksonville mega show?
You have General RV, you have Campers Inn, you have D&H Truck Campers over here. You have Blue. Oh, they just changed their name from RV1,
right?
Blue Wave or whatever.
Blue Wave, yeah.
They are here, and so each one of us has our own products that we represent.
That you represent for this area.
For this area, yes.
So, for instance, and I'm just going to say General RV does not have a Newmar here.
That's correct.
But if I went to the Chicago store, you might have a Newmar up there. Or are you not Newmar at all?
No, it could be. I'm not familiar with that. It could be. That's just like General RV in Jacksonville has the Tiffin line, where our competitor has the Newmar line.
Right.
Two good lines, two good things. It's wonderful. We compete against each other all the time.
And it's funny because those are the two RVs that we are looking at, the Newmar. Personally, Patty and I are looking at the Newmar and the Tiffin. And at your suggestion, we went yesterday and we sat in the Tiffin for a half an hour and just kind of felt it as home. Right. And we went over to your competition, the Newmar, and we sat in that for a half an hour just to see how that felt.
And we took pictures, we took notes, and we went home and discussed it. And we still don't quite have an answer.
We're going to get a Thor, yeah.
We'll get back to you on that.
One of the things that you said is very true. You sat in it and you felt it for a while. The salespeople, they like to be in that unit with the customer. Sit down, relax. Let's see if this is going to accommodate your whole family, table-wise, eating-wise. If it become inclement, are you going to be able to maneuver on the inside? Those are the things that make the people feel comfortable and make it feel like home. And that's what we try to do. We want to make it like home.
Absolutely. So now I have another question. Sometimes when you go to these, I know when you go to the home shows, for instance, I know it's a big stretch of a comparison, but if you're there on the last couple hours of the last day, I tend to get a better deal on hot water heater or something like that. Is that the case here at the RV show? If I wait till Sunday, last minute, he's making
4:59 Sunday afternoon. We're ready to go home, but I want to buy.
He's making faces.
No.
That's what I thought. But again, I want to ask you the questions that I see being posted, that I see on social media. So explain.
Okay. Years ago, and I mean years ago, that might have been the case. But nowadays, what happens is, let's say I've got 2 Class A diesel pushers, two Tiffin Phaeton 40 IHs, and I have one here at the show and one at the store, and those 2 sell. I can't sell another one at the same price because it's got to come from the factory and it's got to have a price increase and everything else involved in it. Plus the fact we get show slots from the manufacturer. And by Sunday at 5 o'clock, people come, sometimes they look at me and they look at every one of these salesmen around here and they look at us and go like, oh yeah, you're right. When we say, listen, at 5 o'clock, this is done. You call me tomorrow morning, you're not going to get this price. And there's some people that call the next day and they go like, wait a minute. Well, I'm sorry. You came to the show. You should have purchased at the show. We're looking at a fine gentleman right over here. His name is David Hirsch. He's from Campers Inn. He's going to be with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. So he will be with us tomorrow, and he will give us another insight after he's got more years than I do in this industry.
There you go.
I think when you put your 40 and his at least 40 and our 20 or so, we have over 100 years of experience in the RV industry here. So that's going to be a great show, and that'll be coming up on the RV Life podcast. Patty, you had one follow-up?
I just wanted to say, given what you just said, Greg, just to be very clear with our audience, you want to get here the first day of the show so you have access to the largest amount of inventory.
That's exactly correct. You want to get here. You want to, if you find the one you really like, go ahead and negotiate and buy it because somebody behind you is going to do that. And then you're going to be sorry that you didn't do it. So the pricing is here. The knowledge is here. The product is here. There's no reason in the world not to buy at the RV show.
You know, and that is something that I physically saw firsthand as we were setting up here and we're in front of this beautiful Forest River. David, who's the Forest River rep, was actually talking to a customer that he helped buy an RV 7 years ago. Yeah. And they're here looking at this, and he's like, this is an amazing price at this RV show. He said, look at this. It's $59,000 right now. He said, you're not going to get this price. And this is from a manufacturer's rep. He said, that's under what I'm selling it to these guys for. You're not going to get this price next time if you go into the dealer, if you wait in a week and a half. And they walked right over to one of the salespeople. I think they bought it. I think that's absolutely great.
Yes, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is. These prices are never going to be better than they are today. They're never going to be better tomorrow. They're not going to be better on Sunday. They're going to be best today when you find the coach that you really, truly enjoy and you want.
I have to say that's not necessarily the same thing with interest rates. That may change on us from Friday to Saturday.
Listen, if you buy a coach, you don't have to worry about the interest rates.
There you go. You know, we are here at the Jacksonville Mega Show. And we are with George. You know, thank you so much for being with us today. We really, really appreciate you and what we've done here. Do me a favor, though. We're going to have a question of the week. Would you stick around and help us with the question of the week when we come back?
I'll be glad to. You're
listening to the RV Life podcast, and we will be back right after this. This podcast is brought to you in part by RVinsurance.com. Getting proper insurance coverage for RVers can be difficult, as the RV lifestyle tends to take us away from our stated coverage area. The RVer Insurance Exchange can help RVers navigate tricky waters of health insurance and find a policy that travels with you, so you can enjoy RVing without worrying that your policy won't cover you. The agents at RVerinsurance.com are real RVers that understand the unique needs of those enjoying the RV life. Visit RVerinsurance.com or call 1-800-867-4330 and let the experts at RVer Insurance work for you. National Indoor RV Centers with over 1,000 motorhomes available across multiple locations. National Indoor RV Centers continues to provide an outstanding hassle-free motorhome ownership experience. National Indoor is the #1 Newmar dealer in the nation and also features brands like Integra, Winnebago, and much more. Visit NIRVC.com and become a part of the National Indoor RV Centers family. This is the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt. We are at the Jacksonville Mega Show broadcasting live. We want to reach out to General RV and thank them for hosting us in this incredible space today. We have had a wonderful time. And Patty, I think you may have actually learned something about buying an RV at a show.
I didn't just learn something. There was seriously a lot that I learned that I had no idea. We have been to many shows over the last 2 years. The information, Greg, that you gave us today, I had no idea. So we're really grateful for you being on this show.
Yeah, if I could say just one more thing. You know, we run our FRVTA meetings, and it's not a war like Dodge versus Chevy versus Plymouth or anything like that. We're all in this together, and we realize that we have to keep it going together. So we're more like a brotherhood than we are. We help each other all the time. We send customers back and forth to each other, and that's what. It's not a war. I mean, yeah. I love this guy. This guy is great, and you're going to find out tomorrow what kind of a really truly great guy he is. So at any rate, just know that this is a brotherhood, the FRVTA.
Right. Now, for those of you, this is a podcast, so there's no video. He is talking about the gentleman from Campers Inn that we will be talking with tomorrow.
Now, you guys are both saying tomorrow, so just remember that will not broadcast until one of our episodes down the road. But that's okay. We will be talking in that episode about camping, about the camping lifestyle, about things that people want and need, and how we as dealers, as manufacturers, as RV Life are helping those people along the way. So that's what that episode's going to be on. That's going to be on in a couple weeks. So watch out for that episode. You can see when those episodes are coming out on our social media. And what are they? We got Facebook.
Yes. So reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook. It is RV Life Podcast. Nice and simple.
Okay, it is time for one of my favorite features of the week. It's called the RV Life Pro Tip of the Week with Patrick Buchanan.
We're back this week with another Did You Know for our RV Life Pro Tip of the Week. Did you know that in RV Life Trip Wizard, you can check fuel prices? When on the Trip Wizard map, simply zoom into the area you are looking to fuel up, right-click on the map, and choose Check Fuel Prices. You'll be taken to a new page that has both a map and a list of local fuel stations with their brand, prices, address, and more. The list is filterable by fuel type, fuel grade, and search radius. You can add that fuel station to your trip by copying the address, dropping it into the search bar on your Trip Wizard map, and adding it as a custom stop. You can even download that fuel station list to an Excel spreadsheet. For RV Life, I'm Pat Buchanan with your Pro Tip of the Week.
The question of the week. Each week we have a question of the week, and this week it came to us through our social media. So if you have a question for us or an expert, just reach out on social media. This question of the week is Elizabeth G. from Rutland, Vermont. And she said she's looking to trade in her travel trailer. Will she get a better price if she does it privately or through a dealer? And we're going to ask Greg.
I'm glad you stuck around for that one.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. So we're going to dissect this in two different sections here. The dealer that she's going to trade it in with will give her fair market value based on the condition of her trade. If it's a motorhome, how many miles on it, how many tires and all that. And that salesman takes all that into consideration. And the dealership then puts a price on her trade. Selling it outright. Yes, you can sell your coach outright. There might be a chance that you might realize a little more money selling it outright. But I caution you to this, and this is why you trade it in. If you go in and buy that coach for $100,000 and you don't trade it in, you're paying $7,000 in tax. If you trade your coach in, you're only paying the difference in tax. So if it's a $30,000 trade and you're only paying on $70,000, which means you're only paying $4,900. You not only have to take in consideration selling it outright, you have to add the difference that you're going to get from tax savings to the top of that to try to even break even.
Something else I did not think about. Add that, and that tax money could be substantial. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Greg. Helpful.
You know, and when we trade in our 2002 Monaco, because everybody wants a 2002 Class A 40-foot Monaco, you're going to give me $200,000 for it. That's going to save $14,000 doing the quick math if I traded that in and put it in on something that I bought for maybe $4 or $5, $6 or $700,000. So thank you, Greg. That was a great answer to that question. And again, I think our listeners really learned something. Thank you again, Elizabeth, for that. And remember, if you have a question that you want answered, we will get the professionals to answer that question for you right here on the RV Life Podcast. Just reach out to us on any social media or the RV Life Podcast, anywhere that you can possibly find us. And I just want to thank everybody for listening to our show today. We had a wonderful time being here at the Jacksonville Mega Show live, and we're going to do it again tomorrow. These shows will be up in the very, very near future. I'm Dan Hunt. With the RV Life Podcast, we are live from the Jacksonville Mega Show. I'm here with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt, and I just want to say to each and every one of you, have a great rest of today.
And an even better day tomorrow.